the NCAA Division II Men's Basketball Elite Eight following today's national championship game. We are joined by the 2017 NCAA Division II National Championship team, the Northwest Missouri State Bearcats, who finished the season 35-1, winning the first men's basketball national title in school history. We are joined by head coach Ben McCollum and student athletes Justin Pitts and Zach Schneider. And Justin Pitts named the most outstanding player of the Elite Eight. Coach, if you'd like to start us with an opening statement.
Yeah, as we always say, to make it this far for Fairmont State is obviously quite the accomplishment. I think that was the number 1 and 2 teams in the country, and I feel like it truly was the number 1 and 2 teams in the country. And I think if you play 10 times, maybe it's 50-50. But we were fortunate enough to come out with the win. I thought Fairmont competed. I thought they fought and battled. Going to our kids, I thought our kids were very, very focused and very, very driven to get to this point. And when they got to the game, they took full advantage of the opportunity. There wasn't a minute where they were passive. They were engaged the whole time. They were engaged in scouting reports. They were engaged the whole season, and it's quite the accomplishment. The thing that I always say is not always say, but I've never won the last game of the season, but it's awesome, and we're going to celebrate it. It's a little bittersweet because my 3 seniors are very, very special to me, and we're gonna miss them quite a bit. So I don't get to see them, coach them anymore, but I'm happy that they got to go out with a win, and that's a special deal.
Questions?
Coach, can you talk about the pressure that they put on you in the second half? Were you able to break that almost the entire game?
Yeah, I think the St. Thomas Aquinas game helped us quite a bit because I went back and I looked at. They're similar in their pressure. I think that Fairmont's pressure is probably a little bit more physical, and they really get after you a little bit more. But it's similar styles, and so I went back and I looked at some of that film, and we put in a couple different press breakers. And then honestly, the kids, a lot of it's just you kind of in disarray, and so then you just have to work together as a group and break it together, and meet passes and pass fake and be strong with the basketball and those things that coaches preach in first grade. That's pretty much what you have to do to beat the press.
To both of the players, can you talk to us about the impact the fans had? You kind of turned this into a game for you.
Yeah, it was great. Obviously, I think I heard them announce a sellout, and 90% of that was Bearcat fans. We just knew it was going to be like that coming in, just because we could tell from Twitter and all those things, getting text messages like I'm coming to the game, and that really just gave us the edge and got off to that fast start. Never really looked back, and they helped us out a lot.
Yeah, just like Zach said, we're only like 5 hours away, so we kind of knew. And they always travel no matter where we go, and they always have a big impact on our games. They get loud and it gets hard to hear, and it's a good thing.
Are you guys starting to kind of like this place? You've been playing here a little bit the last few years.
Yeah, 9 games, and I'm telling you, we talked about it right as we got on the bus. When we lost to Augustana last year, we talked about getting back here and finishing off this season with 3 straight wins, and we've just been on a mission to do that with every action that we've done the last season, and it played out pretty well.
This one's for both the players. I might have missed it. You guys might have already talked about it, but you guys are national champions. Can you kind of just talk about how that feels, Zach, especially you and your senior year?
I told someone down there, you really can't dream up a senior year any better, other than that trip to Joplin, obviously. But I think that helped refocus us and just set us on a good path for that stretch run. And it really hasn't hit me yet. It'll hit me probably when I get back to Maryville and when I check my phone tonight or something like that. It's just really special, and there's no other way, no other option for this team. We talked about it the whole time. No other option to finish this way out.
Yeah, it really doesn't seem real right now. But it was like Zach said, we talked about it a year ago when we lost that. We had to come back and work hard to get back to where we're at, and that's what we did all preseason. And we worked hard in practices. We brought it every day, and I'm just happy we got it done for our 3 seniors.
Coach, Devontae, who's not in here, his decision to transfer here has been talked about for a number of times. Talk about just what a gift he's been to you guys along this journey.
Yeah, I don't think that words really can explain what Devontae means to this program and to the rest of the players. He's probably truly one of the most unselfish people I've ever met. If you wanted somebody to marry your daughter, he would be the guy. He's that good of a human being. And he brings everybody together. He makes everybody around him better. And you know, he loves everybody. I mean, he's such a loving human being, and that makes a big difference on a team because it's contagious. And you know, obviously he can play too. You know, that's what goes without saying.
At some point during the regional, you had said you hadn't found your guys' rhythm offensively, and these past 2 games, you guys looked more like you looked against Augustana. What went differently, especially on the offensive end these past 2 games?
I don't know. You face different competition, probably. I mean, that helps where they're not as used to what you do. The other part of that is the stakes are a little higher, and so maybe our kids might have concentrated a little bit more. We might have done a little bit better things offensively. I don't really know. I mean, it's just part of this team is they're just so gritty. Where it's the next opponent, so like they just play and try to win that game. You know, however they have to do it. If they have to do it shooting 10% or 50%, they're gonna win the game. And I knew when it come down to that 10 points that they were gonna come out and win it. You know, I'll just stop there. I was gonna keep going, but I had a story, but keep my.
What was it like just in the first couple minutes of this game, knowing you're coaching a national championship, and I guess how long did it take to kind of go on the nerve and just feel like another game?
It was pretty surreal. I mean, it was. I didn't have any nerves, honestly. I was pretty relaxed. The first round of the NCAA tournament, I wasn't very relaxed. That was probably the worst as far as our tension goes. But tonight, I was pretty relaxed, pretty excited. I knew the season was going to end tonight, one way or the other. And you know, obviously, we had a good start against the press. We got some stops early, and that was good. I knew if we could get that lead, you know, it's like in, you know, I don't know. I always compare it to like a 400. You guys ever run a 400-meter dash? Yeah, well, you get around that. You get around that. I ran them in high school. I used to love them because, you know, if you get around that last turn and you're within about 10 yards of somebody, you know, some people kind of break, you know, and some people are tough enough to pass them, just almost like, hey, you better have 20 yards on me if you're going to beat me. And we have the kind that you know, if it gets down to that last 100 and it's a close game, that's game over. They're just tough kids, tough-minded. So all I had to do was get it to the 4-minute mark, and then, hey, then they take over from there.
Coach, I believe you guys are now the first Division II school ever to win a football and men's basketball national championship in the same year. Can you just talk about the sort of the pride in the university that shows?
I mean, that's unheard of. It might be Division I, too. Is it Division I, too?
No, Florida.
Florida did? Florida.
06. Florida Gators.
Ruin it for us. Well, they didn't have to go through a playoff system then, did they, for football? So, yeah, I don't know if it counts. No, I'm just kidding. No, you know, especially it's very difficult to do that in Division II just financially, just because, you know, to be really good at football, you have to invest in it. And they invest in other sports, too. I'm not saying they don't invest in this. But it's difficult when you have to invest so much to be able to be good and great, especially at, I guess, what the outside would say the primary 2 sports. And you know, to win 2 national titles at a small school in Division II, 7,000 students in a town of 13,000 or whatever it may be, yeah, it's pretty spectacular. I mean, it's never been done. These guys have done. They broke a record that was set in 1930. I mean, they broke so many records this year, and now they just got another one that all of the Division II. You know, they broke that record. So, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty unbelievable. Probably never happen again, I would guess, unless we do it. No, just kidding.
Coach, can you kind of talk about your defense tonight? I mean, you know, the team that averages 96 points per game is like 51 or 61. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal.
That's our style. You know, I thought we could, you know, our big motto every single year is impose your will. And you have to aggressively do that, though. You can't be passive against a team as aggressive as Fairmont State because they're so good, so talented, so athletic. They play so hard, well coached. And the only chance you have is to impose your will. And our will is, you know, hey, let's see if you can score on us in the half court. Okay, and let's make sure that we guard the basketball, but yet pressure it to run you off the threes. You know, and then obviously we were able to get some steals on their drives, take a few charges and whatnot. But that's just who we are, and it's easier to slow a game down than speed it up a lot of times if you have good enough personnel to do that. And we have good enough personnel to do that.
Zach, your career is finally done here. class? I guess just you kind of just speak on everything you've gone through for the years.
Yeah, I mean, set a lot of records, won a lot of championships, and for me, I thought about it a lot. To me, obviously this program's been great for a while, but to me, it goes back to when I came in with upperclassmen. I'm gonna try and get all 7 of them, so they don't give me crap about it. But Grant, Wally, Dylan, Coop, T-Funk, Schlake, and Coop. Or no, I'm missing someone. I knew I messed
Grant
it up.
Kozad, Kyle Schlake, Dylan Starzl, Tyler Funk, Bryson Williams, Deshaun Cooper.
Yeah,
you got Coop.
No, I got Coop twice.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How do you forget B?
Yeah, I don't know. He's in my head forever, but
There you go.
yeah, it
Literally.
goes back to those 7. Honestly, they showed our underclassmen, set the standard for us, and really, each and every year we build on that. Every senior has instilled that in us, and it really just paid off. And this is a program like any other, and it really showed today.
Just for the players, you faced 2 teams that scored 90 points a game the last 2 nights, and you shut them down to less than 70. How much pride do you take on that?
I mean, I think we take a lot of pride on our defense. I don't know, we're like 2nd in the country in defensive points or whatever. I mean, but I feel like tonight we came in more focused and locked in because we knew that they're a great team and they push and transition and score a lot of points. So I think we came in locked in tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we always hang our hat on our half-court defense, and that's what we did tonight. We talk about it a lot. It's a lot easier to slow down a game than it is to speed one up, and we did a great job of slowing them down and making them go against our set defense, and that's a tough thing to do.
Coach, it was a couple years ago that Deshaun Cooper was leaving, and a lot of fans were concerned about how you filled that void. You were confident, but when did you realize that Justin Pitts was this good?
This good? He's pretty good. Honestly, probably his redshirt year. I mean, we knew his redshirt year because we were considering playing him. Deshaun was injured a little bit throughout his senior year, and we're like, well, I mean, we could play the 2 together and see if they could guard and see if somebody could guard them. So we considered playing him that season. So I kind of knew it then that he was going to be pretty special. And then obviously, like Zach said, he was able to learn from Deshaun. Deshaun and him are 2 different types of guards. What Deshaun, he's just such a dog. He just really, he's tough. He's just going to come at you. And Justin's tough too. And so I think he kind of gave Justin was very humble. Didn't realize how good he was.